Sup, y'all, it's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today I figured I'd make a video talking to you guys a little bit about the shakeup that's happened between a couple of the top guilds in Warcraft, and now I think that's really kind of indicative of the decline in hardcore raiding, and honestly, just hardcore playing in general in Warcraft. Now, it's very different from other games like CSGO and League of Legends, and talk about the differences and really like what Blizzard could maybe do to fix that, but mostly just have a discussion about that with you guys. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the guilds, because I'm not in the guilds, right? I don't really know what's going on. I'm just going to tell you guys what's going on, in like a basic level, at least what they've said, so like kind of, I guess, like the starting point for this discussion. Now, long story short is Method, the top guild in the world, they killed Mythic Archimon first before anybody else. Same with Blackhand. Definitely, like, even if you like another guild, you cannot deny Method is at least one of the best guilds, if not the best guild in the world. Now, Method had a few people leave their guild and create this new guild called Serenity. Now, there were a number of different reasons why it was stated that they did leave, and I think that a number of them had to do with the leadership of the guild and the direction that the guild was really going in. Now, if you guys don't know, well, I think that everybody knows that Warcraft kind of, in terms of popularity on Twitch and an esport, is very minimal, and it's really kind of on decline in a lot of ways, just because I think that, again, another long story short, is that Blizzard doesn't put a lot of work and effort into really kind of nurturing that, that hardcore environment in the same way that, Riot Games and Valve do with CSGO. And so I want to talk to you guys about why I think that's really so important. Now, another reason why apparently people were leaving Method and everything is that if you guys didn't know, Sko, who's the guild leader of Method, has been trying, he's kind of branched off from World of Warcraft and tried to broaden the Method brand, and he's the one who owns the brand. It's kind of like an esports team now, I think, and so he's been trying to expand that and try to monetize that in some ways. He actually quit his job recently. He had probably a very good financial analyst job, ended up quitting that job and to focus full time on building this brand and streaming and everything. And so he's obviously got all of his cards in this deck here, and so he's probably trying to make this happen to the best potential that he can. And I think that whenever you have this conflict between like what people like, kind of like this is a hobby, and people like him who are trying to turn this into a legitimate professional venture or something like that, there are obviously going to be differences, and I think that probably had something to do with it. But again, I'm not in the guild. I wasn't really behind the real discussions. I wasn't there. But that's just the way it seems to me. I tried to get a hold of a couple of people, that were involved with this, but I couldn't really find a way to contact them. But maybe I might have a discussion with them personally about this, but I don't really know. Anyway, so I want to kind of just let you guys know what happened, and then Sloopbag, who's one of the main tanks for Midwinter, which is the top was the top U.S. guild. They got the world third, I think. What's called a Mythic Blackhand kill, which is probably their highest rated kill that's ever happened. They also got the world first Iron Maiden's kill, and so this is also another very good guild. And Sloopbag moved over to Serenity with, I think, Kurzum, who's the raid leader for Method, and another guy called Pot M. I read all this stuff off of, apparently Manaflask did a little bit of an article about this, and also people have been discussing it a little bit as well. Now, I think that this decline, and also, I think that really what it comes down to is that there are less and less guilds that are really willing to raid 7 nights a week, and the real rewards for, like, let's say getting the world first or getting the world second. I mean, like, honestly, guys, if you're not getting world first or world second, nobody really cares about third place, right? Most people don't really care except for the people who are getting it. And so, it's very, very high stakes, and there are only really a few guilds that are actually willing to raid 7 nights a week, during progression, for the 2 to 3 weeks that it takes, and take it super, super seriously. And that number has dwindled a lot, and I think there's a lot of reasons because of that. Now, over the time, in vanilla, Burning Crusade, like throughout the time of the game, people have progressively upped the ante in terms of what they really put into progressing. Like there's more time spent, more like split runs, and like all these different kinds of things to just gear each other up to get as much advantages as possible. And because of that, it kind of makes it to where somebody who is not really a super hardcore player, but it's a very good player, it's not really possible for them to get into one of those top guilds. And because also of that, there are just so very few people who are able to raid 7 nights a week and have a schedule that can support that. I mean, yes, obviously, of course, after they beat all the bosses, they don't raid every day anymore, but it's still, you know, to be able to take off 2 to 3 to 4 weeks every, you know, every few months, probably every 6 months or 8 months or so, every single time a new tier is out, that's very rare for a job to allow somebody to do that. And so whenever you break down, you know, like the concentric circles of people who are able to, you know, like people who play WoW, people who play who raid, people who raid seriously, people who are actually good at the game, people who can raid 7 nights a week, people who want to raid 7 nights a week, you have very, very small amount of people who actually are interested in doing this. And so I think that that's really kind of, you know, it's like kind of a death by 1,000 cuts with the, with like kind of the decline in hardcore raiding and really hardcore playing in general. And now that, so you guys understand pretty much, like, so some of the top guilds are switching things up, apparently some sort of change and like the way they were taking a guild. I don't really know, but that's just what was said. Now after that, you know, like what really causes this? Now, if you want to compare the time spent in World of Warcraft, like what do you really get for getting world versed? Obviously, you know, you get recognition, and so every single type of recognition, like let's just assume that you got it. All right, let's say Obama tweets you and says good job on killing Illidan, or not Illidan, like Gul'dan in the next tier, right? And so it doesn't really matter, though. It doesn't that doesn't really help you recoup your time that you spent. And you compare that, like, so if somebody wants to invest a lot of time into a game, and you know there are only very few people who are able to do that, you know, in terms of a hobby, but there are a lot of other people who do it, you know, professionally. Like there are a lot of people who stream and play all the time, right? And streaming allows them to do that and have the schedule that they want and everything like that. And so there are a lot of these different reasons and ways that people are able to do it. But honestly, like if you are going to be competitive at playing a game, there are so many other games that are much more lucrative and you can get so much more out of. Blizzard has done, in my opinion, a really, really bad job incentivizing, especially PvE progression and any sort of, you know, giving back to the community in one way or another. If they gave like some sort of like a prize, like this is just like my opinion, if they gave some sort of like a prize of like $10,000 or like $20,000 to like the top guild, and then maybe $5,000 to like the second guild, and like $1,000 to the third guild, something like that, to like the 25 people in the raid team or something. I think that would incentivize a lot more people to raid, you know, like super competitively, and to take that next step up, and maybe also to give out more prizes and stuff like that for completing content and for doing that stuff to incentivize it and really kind of to compete. Because honestly, even though World of Warcraft and League of Legends and CSGO and Hearthstone are really all very different games, they all really do compete for people's attention, and especially for people who play the games all the time, they do compete for those people's times. It's like, what are you really going to do? What are you going to get the most out of your time for? And whenever this is your job, you have to look at what makes the most monetary sense. And I know that a lot of people don't really like to look at it like that, but I mean, like, let's be real, okay? You know, somebody can get, let's say maybe 1,000 viewers or something like that playing World of Warcraft, and they can get 3,000 viewers playing League of Legends or CSGO. And I mean, like, it's pretty much common sense what they're really going to do. And so that's really what's happened a lot. And, you know, Blizzard, I think that really needs to foster and build a better, you know, competitive environment. And I'm really glad that they've been very supportive to GCD TV, which is, and shout out to you guys that have been doing it. I think I have a couple of you guys on Twitter. You guys have been doing a really great job, you know, and it's really great to see. I think it's like the first time since MLG was like the serious was like in World of Warcraft, and I think it was like Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, that I've really seen like a legitimate, you know, professionally in a way, a run tournament, you know, with great casters and everything like that, really putting, you know, giving back to the community. And you know, those casters don't really, they usually don't even really get paid for it, and so they're doing this to build the community and to do all this stuff, and it's helped the PvP community a whole lot. And there are all these other ancillary and secondary, tertiary things that you get out of, you know, having these tournaments and everything like that, and it attracts more people into the scene. You know, the competitive aspect of World of Warcraft has always been very, very important. People have always been competitive to the point of where I'm a higher level than you, I do more DPS than you, you know, I've got better gear than you, and it's always been very, very competitive. And so, you know, if Blizzard could do more with fostering that PvE and, you know, especially PvE, but also a little bit more of a PvP. Again, it's been great to see, you know, like how they have helped GCD TV. It would be good if they could let them use the official World of Warcraft channel or something like that. that would be great. I remember seeing some guy talking about that. Seemed like a good idea to me. Anyway, it's kind of a little bit off topic, but it would be really, really good if Blizzard could incentivize, and I really just do mean monetarily, in one way or another, PvE progression. Now, obviously, like, you might say that this could be stupid because they're just giving away money for playing the game. And I would, yes, that is basically what it is. They're a multi-million-dollar company, and this would cost less than $1 million in terms of prize money. And in doing that, they would kind of attract a lot more people and make the race a lot more exciting, make the stakes higher, and everything else like that. I honestly think that it would reinvigorate it a lot. I talked to a couple of people who are like really high-end raiders, and that would motivate them because it would give them a way to, I guess, like make to justify spending that time, spending those 16 hours, 12 hours raiding for 4 weeks or something like that, prepping up and, everything, spending all of that time, doing it. And it would really kind of make it worth it because obviously, they could do something else on the side, and more people, it would accommodate more lifestyles and allow people to do that. In League of Legends, that's why there is such a heavy competitive scene. Riot Games spends so much time, building that scene, and they've done so much for it. And like right now, like I'm just gonna check right now, what is the top game on Twitch TV in terms of being viewers? Oh, fucking Counter-Strike. But League of Legends is number 2. Counter-Strike does the same thing. Like on Counter-Strike, there are tournaments being held all the time. And so obviously, all of these tournaments and everything really do help advertisement for the game and attracts new competitive players into it. And I think that whatever Blizzard really could do to make the game more competitive, or at least to not really make it more competitive, but incentivize the competitive aspects of the game, it'll really kind of help everybody out, especially, honestly, obviously, especially the people who could potentially get the money, but more monetary rewards, I think really would be an investment that would pay off for them. Now, obviously, that's debatable, and it's really kind of hard to correlate, that into some sort of, like say that is the cause of maybe more people rating hardcore or something like that. But whenever you have something like, you have to be there for 16 hours, 12 hours a day for 4 weeks, and you're not getting anything really out of it, it's like money, because I mean, like, fuck, everybody's got to buy these, like I got to buy a lot of these, and each one's $1, right? And, I need to have a lot of dollars. So you've all got to have money. You got to pay your fucking internet, got to pay your electricity. That's what it really comes down to. And so if they don't really have something to allow, what the fuck is that sound? Allow people to get that, to get that out of it, there's going to be a smaller and smaller decline, or, bigger and bigger decline in a smaller pool of people who do want to raid and play hardcore whenever they have other games that will allow them to do that and they can get more out of it. So anyway, guys, I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. As I said, I don't really know really what happened with Method, or if Midwinter is going to really have a big shakeup or not. Hopefully, I wish both of them the best. Obviously, it's always good to see. Honestly, I think this could be really cool because it kind of shakes things up. Method and Paragon have kind of just been, the kings of raiding since I don't even remember the last time somebody else got a world first kill. Yeah, I honestly don't even remember. And so anyway, it will kind of shake things up and make things a little bit more interesting. But anyway, guys, I am curious to see what you guys think. What do you really think? Do you think that Blizzard could do more? They could do more to incentivize players to, do things. And I just want to say one thing right now. Like, I was talking to, I was on Sloopbag stream, and I said this because I was watching a video that I made of Diablo, and it reminded me the day before, and I said again, is it Path of Exile? You guys don't know what that is game is. It's like it's like Diablo 3, but it's really complicated, but the combat isn't as good in my opinion. And they had a thing where like you went through like this tournament, or it was like a season, and like you played, and you have to do all these like really difficult little achievements kind of to do. And if you got all these achievements, they would send you a fucking t-shirt in the mail. And I mean, you had these fat nerds who like me, like sitting there grinding out mobs 8 hours a day for 4 months for a fucking t-shirt, okay? And so it doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be a lot, but some sort of recognition, of real recognition, and what it really will come down to for a lot of people is some sort of monetary incentive. And I don't really know what they could do, but it's something that they probably should figure out. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I got. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.